a little bit about the fact that we're on the set of the sequel.
We are on the set of the sequel, but you already said that. We are, here we are at Union Station. This is the second half of a scene that we shot, the other half in England. And it's great to be doing a kind of a sequel. Of course, it's hard to call it a sequel since we've done like 9 films over the years, but it's kind of a sequel to the last one, so we're having a great time. You know?
What's different about this Muppet film than compared to the ones before?
Well, you know, there are many differences. One particular one, if I may I talk about my own role?
Yeah.
I am once again returning as Kermit the Frog, a part that I was born to play. And what's cool about it, though, this time is that I actually, at the end of the film, I'm sort of like an action hero. You will see me do things you haven't seen me do before. Quite seriously, I'm kind of like a cross between James Bond and something Bruce Willis would do. You know?
Did you have to train for that?
Well, a little bit. I had to train to be more serious. It's a whole different kind of acting when you're playing those kinds of, action hero roles, like hanging on the bottom of helicopters and fun stuff like that.
When this movie, you have the villain is Constantine, who looks exactly like you. Did you ever consider playing a dual role and playing both parts?
We talked about it, but I have to admit that I'm not great at doing the accent that Constantine had.
Okay.
Constantine kind of has a European Russian sort of accent. And by the way, Constantine is just one of my cousins from the swamp.
Oh, okay.
So he just happens to have the right facial features for the role.
Yeah. It's always good to
working with Tina Fey, because I understand that she gets kind of the hots for Kermit.
Well, yes. I don't want to embarrass Tina. I love her, and we had a great time together. I think that's only on camera. She's a married woman. Besides, Miss Piggy might read this, and you never know what could happen.
Speaking of Miss Piggy,
yes,
I hear it's heating up a little bit between the two of you in this movie. Is that
heating up? Well, I don't want to give the whole story away. There's a lot of heat whenever Miss Piggy and I are on screen. I'm not going to tell you too much about that, because it turns out that it's kind of a mistake that happens in the movie. A little bit of a tomfoolery, I will say.
Besides talking about working with Tina Fey and Ricky Gervais and Ken Burrell?
Well, I can. Ricky is wonderful. I think he will probably become an honorary Muppet. He's kind of our size, and very funny and great playing opposite all us guys. We tend to be very broad actors. Ricky is very economical in his comedy. Tina was fantastic. I can't imagine anybody else having played the role of sort of the mistress of a gulag. As Tina put it, her character Nadia loves prison, so it's a little strange. She does a number that reminds me very much of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And Ty's wonderful. Ty is sort of he's insane, actually. He's very conservatively insane. So we loved it. I mean, we loved working with all those guys and all the other guys who worked with us as well.
What's been your favorite location?
Upper Hayford. Yes, Upper Hayford. It was 10 below zero in the wind chill, and we were outside all night. And I am a semi-naked frog. So, it was quite an experience, like the polar plunge.
You mentioned your cousins in the swamp getting cast in this movie. Any chance we'll see Robin, and how's he doing?
Well, Robin has a cameo in the movie. Robin is now going to school. He hasn't aged in the last 43 years. He's still 5. And so he wasn't really available while we were shooting, but he does have a small cameo. I think you might see a moment of it. Yeah.
As we see in the last film, you guys have really found your popularity resurgence. How has that been in the time since?
Well, I hope that's true. It's a funny thing. We have to do these films. We like people to sit in the theater seats, but we sure have a lot of fun when we do them. And this one, I think it's even more fun than the last one for me. And I hope that translates onto the screen. I guess if it does, maybe we'll do a third one. We'll see what happens.
Do people stop you in the street and say, "You're Kermit the Frog. You played Kermit the Frog"?
No, they say, "Hey, little short guy, get out of the way." I'm often confused for a green fire hydrant. I have to be very careful. It's great being an 18 to 24 inch tall celebrity. You can just slip through the crowds and people leave you alone. Yeah.
Can you talk about the musical numbers in this new film, and do you have a special one you like the best?
Well, I do have to say, I sort of... That lady's been here all day. I don't know who she is. We did a number called The Big House, which is actually Tina Fey's big number. and she sings this song where she's welcoming me to prison. And I have to say, I was meant to act as though I'm kind of depressed about that, but it was hard to do because it's such a fun song. And I think people will see a side of Tina they haven't seen before. She's really wonderful.
So welcome to the big house. Is that what you said?
The song is called The Big House. Yeah.
I noticed that Miss Piggy wasn't in the scene that you guys were just filming. Is she kind of a diva on set? Is that why she's not here for the scene?
Well, yes, sort of. I guess I could tell you guys this. We had a little trouble getting out of her trailer this morning. She didn't want to come out. It was raining, and she thought she might melt or something. I don't know. But no, I don't think she's here today. I don't think she's actually a part of. We shot her half of this scene back at a place called Bluebell in England. So she didn't have to show up. So she's probably sleeping in her trailer. Yeah.
So this is the second movie with Walter. Can you talk about working with him again? Does he have a smaller role in this?
Well, no, actually, it's kind of cool. Well, I guess he's not quite the center of attention, but he sort of joins the group, which is what tends to happen to Muppets who make a debut. They either stick around or we put them in a drawer. And Walter was such a big hit and everybody loved him, and so we wanted him to be a part of everything. He sort of plays the same sort of spot in the Muppets as Scooter. So we have to find certain things for him to do so they're not the same guy. Yeah.
Jason Segel and Amy Adams aren't in this one. How is their absence addressed?
Oh, it's not actually addressed. It's just we're moving on from where we left off in the last movie. So Gary and Mary that they played just sort of aren't a part of this particular story. It'll all come clear in the first scene. You'll immediately know. So yeah.
You mentioned you can sneak through a crowd, but when you're filming out in public like this, what's the reaction like from fans? Are they very excited to see you guys filming?
I think so. They tend to like here on this train platform. I see people on the other side snapping pictures like crazy. There's no telling what you'll see. Kind of hard to have security in the public like that. But no, I think so. It's great to meet our fans. We don't often get the chance to do it because we work in a studio, So people come up to us all the time, and they usually like our work. Some people don't.
Sorry, what's your worst fan experience?
Oh, wow. Worst fan experience. I don't think I've had any really bad ones. No, I can't. I could make a big pun joke out of that, but truthfully, we love our fans, and I'm always happy to see them around.
I'm curious if we're going to be seeing the Muppet Theater in the sequel.
Are you going to see that? Let me think back. You're going to see other theaters where the Muppets are playing their show, but not actually the Muppet Theater. We sort of, as I say, we start this movie right where the last one left off, and it moves on from there. So, no, actually, you don't see the Muppet Theater. We move on.
I see a bunch of the Muppets being carried by humans to this black contraption over here. What's going on inside that black?
The black
looks like a closet.
Yes, that is a. That's sort of like on Star Trek, where they put you inside that thing and they zap you back to Hoboken, New Jersey. It's a one-way ticket, but it saves FedEx.
Might we see any recreations of some old famous Muppet sketches in this film? Obviously, in the first film, you got to do a pretty good amount of that, but might we see?
We did. I think there actually is probably a little less of that this time. This is less about sort of reminding people who we were in the past and moving us forward again, which is very cool. This is more, and not, it's easy to call it a caper, but not like the Muppet Caper. It's actually just a more wacky story where the Muppets are trying to stay out of trouble. And there's quite a lot of trouble that we find that we're getting into. So it's really more of a narrative kind of story.
You've worked with this group for so many years. And
Yep.
They are still kind of a rambunctious group.
They are.
Well, I mean, obviously you guys are like family, but how do you keep that connection going between all of you?
Well, some of us see each other when we're not working. Many of us kind of go our separate ways. I always go back to the swamp. Piggy goes to like Rodeo Drive for a holiday. It's interesting, with the Muppets. I sort of have to take care of things, make sure we get where we're going, all that stuff. Rambunctious is a good word. Just the interstate permits alone to carry livestock. Imagine taking Sweetums and Thog to London. It's like a quarantine thing. So there's quite a lot of coordination.
Do you have to cater the Muppet Show to the different international audiences, or is it the same show everywhere?
Well, frankly, we try to have catering wherever we go. We're quite late on lunch today, I think, but I always cater. I'm all in favor of catering. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Cheer.